Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We have a very special guest today. As you can see, we got the one and only Ash. Ash, how's it going, man?
Smiley, it is a pleasure to be on the channel, man. It's going great. How about you?
I'm doing great. Just ecstatic about this collab and, just
Me
ready
too.
to... Yeah, it's gonna be great. So just a quick backstory in case you guys didn't know. So my whole journey to YouTube was... Ash was one of the biggest inspirations for me to start my YouTube channel in the beginning because he was one of them. There were several, of course, but Ash was definitely one of them. Back then I watched every single Shard Pull video, and for me, like, Shard Pull videos is what really gets me excited because of just the excitement from pulling those champions, and even like the positive vibes from the pulling the bad champions. It's just really awesome. So I'm really glad.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I'm really glad to finally have this opportunity to just do a collab with you. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Hopefully it's the first of many, dude. I've always been a big fan of your channel, and I feel like you have a knack for covering, I don't know, like more niche strategy. Not niche in a bad way, but like you really get strategic in a lot of your videos, and I absolutely love that how you describe the game. So it's a pleasure for me to be on as well. Flattering to hear that. It's funny, way back in the day I was like, comments like, dude, you overhype Shard Pull so much or whatever, and it kind of used to bother me a little bit, and then instead I decided to just play into it even more and just go all out hype mode, because I think you get those vibes, to your point,
Yeah.
when you're watching the content. But either way, I appreciate the kind words, man. Excited to talk about our most used champions today.
Yeah, so yeah, right to it. So we're gonna be talking about our most used champions, and it's just a good way to, I guess it's, for me, it's a good way to get to know you. Based on the champions you use, I can kind of gauge where you focus on the most or whatnot. So, and we're not always gonna have the same champions we use, obviously, because every player is different and they have different champions in different collection. So yeah, let's get right to it. So starting with the Bannerlords, who we'll get to yours first, then. So, and then we'll go back and forth. So Bannerlords, who is your most used champion for Bannerlords?
Yeah, as much as I think my favorite and my most used, that's what I had. That was my struggle when piling this list here, right? Because I think my favorite is, not that you asked, but I'll tell you anyway,
okay.
is Sigmund the High Shield. I love that guy. However, I think that my most used is, believe it or not, Stag Knight. Stag Knight's still my go-to whenever I'm looking for a dependable spirit affinity debuffer, right? I mean, he's got decreased speed, he's got decreased defense, and decreased attack on the same ability. He's also the first champion ever to be added with increased accuracy on his passive as well. Great base stats, just like tried and true Stag Knight fan right here.
That's awesome. Yeah, so I guess we'll just go to mine then, right?
Yeah,
so,
who's yours? Yeah.
I was actually debating between Stag Knight and Archmage Helmet as well, because those two champions are, they're like same reason as you. Stag Knight is incredible, but I guess we're going to, my most used champion is definitely Archmage Helmet, because he puts out so many buffs. That stun that he puts out as well is really nice to just get a lock on the waves and just really help carry those waves. But it's the buffs that I really use him for, and I use him in every single speed comp that I have almost, for particularly Dragon 25 or Ice Golem 25. He's my buffer for my Seer to just nuke down the waves really quickly. So yeah, I have to say he's my most used champion. So very similar.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love Archmage. He's kind of hard too, like sneaky hard, like a really good kit.
Wait, you said he is hard? Have you tested his damage?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying that you should build him to be a nuke or anything, but if you build him with 100% crit rate, you'd be surprised at how much damage you can do with the A2 and the A1. They both have like really solid multipliers, given that his base attack is so low at 925. But he surprised me. Okay,
that's good to know. Yeah, I never actually tested him for damage. I was that's actually I gotta test that out then. Yeah, good to know.
Definitely. A legend to me. Archmage Helmet, you can make a very viable case that he's like the most legendary epic in the game.
Yes, very true.
Okay.
All right.
High Elves.
Yeah, High Elves. So go ahead, man. What's your most used champion?
For me, my most used. I mean, it's, if you include
this is a tough one.
Volume. If you include the volume of usage, I'd say Arbiter, because of my arena team and just using so many arena battles over the last few years. Yeah. However, if you do go with how often or how many different areas of the game I use a champion, for me it's actually Eleanor. I recently-ish switched all of my teams from Seer teams, my dungeon teams, from Seer teams to Poison Combust teams starring Eleanor. So I use her in 3 or 4 different areas as kind of my main damage carry, with the Combust ability, deals damage from all poison debuffs on all enemies instantly. So that's my choice.
Are Are you using the poisoners with that other epic champion, or using it with the Cavalax?
I'm using her. I don't have Cavalax, my most wanted freaking non-void champion.
Oh, really?
I'm using her with Dark Kale.
Okay.
With Tomb Lord. With, let me just pull the team up here because I'm gonna forget a champion or two. Dark Kale, Tomb Lord for all those poisons, and Dark Kale has the poison extender as well, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And then I have her with. It depends on the team, so a few variations depending on what dungeon I'm after. Like for example, an Ice Golem, I'll run with Bad Alcazar on the team as well, with Kymar just to help with the poisons on his A1. So Kymar's really good still to use to seal a magic, reset the cooldowns for the second wave. So basically, that's the squad for the most part. It's either Bad Alcazar or a flex spot. Another poisoner in there. You can use like Uragrim as well. Tomb Lord, Eleanor, Dark Kale. Those are the most important. Those three are the most important. But yeah, so big fan.
Yeah, I haven't made the switch over to Poison Combust comps yet. I'm still going with the Seer for now, but I'm
you have Dark Kale?
I do have Dark Kale.
So Dark Kale is like such a game changer for Poison Combust teams. So if you're lucky enough to have, Eleanor and Dark Kale with his A1, like when you get to the boss, this is what makes the team so much more efficient, at least for me, versus Seer teams, because when you get to the bosses, Dark Kale just becomes a damage-dealing maniac because you shut off his A2 and his A3, and he's just instantly activating every single poison the rest of your team is throwing out against the boss,
Definitely.
Anyway, who's yours?
So mine, okay, this was a really hard one because I kind of use multiple of these champions in the same amount of time that I play the game, I guess. So if it's okay, I'm gonna cheat here a little bit, okay? So for Ethos is going to be my campaign farmer, right? Yannick is my Minotaur farmer. My Arbiter I also use in Arena, and Royal Guard is my Fire Knight. So what part of the game do I use most though? My Arbiter is kind of a niche composition that I have in immunity, but if it's one part of the game that I use the most is I do a lot of Fire Knight, so I have to go with Royal Guard here as my most used champion.
And I imagine you use Royal Guard in Hydra too, right? Or no?
Yeah, I do. Oh, that's another good point. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, how can you get away from Royal Guard? Totally agree with you there. I use quite a lot of Royal Guard as well.
Yeah. All right, so on to the next one, Sacred Order.
Yeah, for me, it would be this. Smiley, this was a tough one for me, man. Dude, I love Venus and Cupidus, and like Archbishop Pinthro is like one of my favorite champions in the game. But I think in terms of who I use the most,
I actually pulled him recently.
He's so good, man. He's so good, but I don't think I use him the most. I only use him in Hydra right now. Same thing with Bivald or Bivald or whatever the heck his name is, the Thorn. But I guess it would probably be Venus. I use Venus and Cupidus tandem now, especially after the buff to Cupidus, so he counterattacks every single time we're on the same team.
Yes,
but I use Venus a little bit more. She's just such a beast of a champion. But I will say a close second for me, honorable mention, would be Inquisitor Shamil, because I run him on two. I built two of them to run on two different Hydra boss teams. So
yeah, that makes sense. I did the same myself.
yeah. I'm thinking about building a third, because I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say Venus. She's just so good with the damage, and I can't believe they buffed her. I mean, it's insane to me.
Yes.
But yeah, they did. So they brought the cooldown down on the A3, more HP burns, and brought it up to 100% land rate. So not too bad. Yeah, Venus. How about you?
So for me, this faction was also difficult, but for a complete opposite reason. I don't use as many champions in here as people might. And I think the one that I would use most of is probably Inquisitor Shamal from the bunch here. Because like everyone here there's a lot of fantastic champions here, but for the compositions that I have, like there's not too many other champions that I have in my main speed compositions per se. But Inquisitor Shamal obviously for Hydra boss, so I probably have to go with him as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
No surprise there. I'm sure a lot of your viewers will agree too if they have. Barbarians, I have. My favorite is Contra the Cyclone lately. I've been loving her in Reflex against the Hydra Clan boss. However, my most used is actually... This one was weird because I...
Wait. Sorry, I just want to cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
I do want to say, from what I've seen, and I heard... Well, I guess like from what I've seen in your videos, is not Sal your favorite champion in the game?
Well, so Drax, you know how it is, man. You've been in a relationship a long time, and then you start to get used to him, and take him for granted. That's how me and Sil, we've had better days, but Contra, she looks kind of similar.
Okay,
and she's a little bit newer, but yeah, I love Scylla Drace. I think she's like the best thing that Raid ever added to the game. Like that everybody can have access to the champion that good. However, just lately, the flavor of the month has been Contra the Cyclone for me. With all that said, my most used, surprisingly to me at least, was Turvold. So I used Turvold on my clan boss team, and I used Turvold on my Magma Dragon team. I use him like anytime I need an ally attacker, and obviously I use him in Faction Wars. So Turvold takes the cake, even though he's not my favorite. He's my most used.
Yeah, he does a lot. He does a lot of damage. So
he does.
Yeah, I see a lot of people use him in clan boss particularly, and he's really strong. And a lot of people sleep on this guy. They just they pull him and they're kind of disappointed and say, oh, he's not that good. But he's actually really good. Yeah.
Totally agree.
I guess for me, I kind of wanted to. Yeah, I mean, I've tried Cantro a lot, especially with she combos really well with Elder Scar. They're just made for each other because the amount of the bus and then the she does is just really crazy.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, because this is a comp actually with the Cantro and Elder Scar. That's the comp I used in Hydra Boss for one of the rotations, but it worked really well. But my most used champion here is probably I'm gonna have to go with Valkyrie. I run her in my defense arena team. Now I don't really use. I guess like Ursuka has to be in there too, but I probably go with Valkyrie. Yeah, she's definitely my most used. I use her in my my defense arena team. I use her in my offense arena team at times, depending on the comp that I'm facing. And yeah, Valkyrie, she's awesome. The
hard to argue with you there. Hard to argue with you on Valkyrie. She's a beast. She's a beast. Yeah. Okay, for Ogryn, I use Ugo the most. I use Ugo. I think that Ugo, in my opinion, might be the strongest epic in the game because for me, Smiley, like what I look at when evaluating champions in a vacuum is, for me, like the holy grail of a champion is somebody who can serve dual purposes on a team to free up other spots, and to have one champion who provides a debuff, a block buffs, and then heals and a little bit of a cleanse too. That's so much utility out of one champion. She's so good. Love Ugo. How about you?
And she's got that sleeper revive too, in case she's the last one alive. So yeah, she's
the break in case of emergency revive there. It's nice to have.
A fail safe. Very nice.
Yep.
That would be that's like really close second for me as well. My two most used in this faction is Ignatius and Maneater, because obviously Maneater, I guess a lot of people might be Maneaters because they do clan boss every single day, so that's a no-brainer. But Ignatius, I guess based off of usage, I do a lot of spider runs too, and Ignatius is in my speed composition for spider, and I do a ton of spider runs, so I'd probably say Ignatius here. He does the AoE HP burn, can't be resisted as long as he's booked out, and yeah, he's fantastic champion.
Totally agree. I use him against the Ice Spider as well. Ignatius, really good there. And yeah, I can't argue with Maneater. I use Demitha, so otherwise I probably would have had to say Maneater as well. All right. Lizard Man, for me, I'll just keep it simple and just say the big turtle himself, Krisk. Like it's hard to pick anybody other than Krisk, because if I need survivability, if I'm having problems on any team staying alive, he's one of the best options. Not only that, he has decreased speed, he has extended duration of buffs, he has ally protect, obviously, he has increased speed on all allies, he has provoke, I mean, he has a great shield. You can go on and on, but yeah, he's one of the best champions in the game. If not, do you think he's the best in the game personally, or who do you? If you could start an account with one champion, who would it be? I'm putting you on the hot spot.
Oh wow, one champion. Regardless of the affinity.
Regardless.
I think Krisk would carry you everywhere. So it'd be hard to argue Krisk. Yeah, I probably go with Krisk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's your most used to, or no?
So. Yeah, you probably know this because from my video recently, but I pulled a Krisk just recently, like a couple weeks ago, and
congrats.
Yeah, thank you. He's such an insane champion. I was so happy when I pulled him too, because I needed one for Hydra Boss because I wanted to cheese it a little more instead of doing all the manualing. But the champion that I use the most is going to be Dracomorph, because I use him in my dragon team. like when I do dragon runs. So he's in my speed composition for that. So Dracomorph is my most used. He's got the AoE defense down, the AoE weaken, and the same ability. One of the only 3 champs without any requirements that can do that, along with Venus and Lydia, of course. And he's got the massive amount of poison buffs he can throw out for the dragon as well, or any champion, a 4-hitter. And yeah, really fantastic champion. He's like a lot of people are happy when they pull a Dracomorph. What did you say?
I would say so. I would say so. He was like, remember way back in the day, he was the worst champion in the game.
Yes.
The worst legendary in the game.
Yes.
That's only OG viewers will remember those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't argue with Draco. He's an absolute monster. Right. Okay, Skinwalkers. My favorite recently is Norog. I really love Norog. I'm tempted to just go Norog.
Wow.
But I'd be lying because he's not. I use like another guy more. But Norog, like the thing about him real quick is that his thick skin passive is just so freaking underrated, man. It's damage decrease the damage all allies take under 1 or more buff by 15%. Decrease damage all allies take under no active buffs by 25%. So basically, with this dude on your team, you already have a built-in strengthen, either the small or the big version of it, running all the time, and it stacks with strengthen too. So like, if you have the big version of strengthen and they're under no buffs, you get 50% damage mitigation off of just a passive and a strengthen. It's incredible. Then he has the AoE block buffs too, so I really rely on him heavily. In Hydra, he can dish out some decent damage too. Leo, though, I use a little bit more. I use him in the arena, and I also use him when I need, kind of in a way that I imagine you or a lot of players use Ethos, where you need someone to clear the waves really quick on a Doom Tower boss or something. I bring in Leo, so he's a beast. He's a beast snooker.
Unfortunately, he's one of the few Void Legendaries I do not have still, and he's been evading my account. So
he's cool. He's a cool guy. He's nice too because he can't with his A2. When that skill's not on cooldown, he's immune to all the CC debuffs, so you don't have to have like block buffs on him in the arena. He just goes in and he can't be CC'd. Don't have to worry about like Torments and stuff like that. So definitely and very hard hitting, obviously as well.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the best nukers in the game for sure. Going back to the Norog real quick, actually, I'm actually surprised by the Norog pick because I haven't really used him much myself, but I have seen some people use him. He's really annoying, particularly in Doom Tower when you're trying to CC him and he just kind of cleanses himself or whatever, or he's immune to it rather. And it's really annoying. But yeah, that's really cool. That's really good to know.
Yeah, he's a guy that I kind of slept on for a long time too, and then more recently I picked him up just to try him out. Like value over replacement on one of my Hydra teams, and he slayed. He came in there, provided super dependable block buffs on an AoE. Decent, like I said, like nice damage. I think I mean, it's all relative, but I think he's getting around like 5 million damage for me on my Hydra team that I'm running him on Nightmare. So not bad. Like he's definitely he's a tank too. So yeah.
Yeah, really solid for Hydra boss with the block buffs there for sure.
Yeah. Who do you use the most?
The champion. So this is a champion I just pulled recently, and I'm gonna stick him in there because I do a lot of Spider, and Temesia is amazing for Spider. She's such a beast. So I had a 13-second Spider team that I ran for a long time, and she pushed my Spider team to a 10-second composition team. Very consistent too.
Who was it? What's the team? I gotta know.
So it's Temesia, 2 Cold Arts, a Sissia, of course, 2 Sissias, and basically that's the composition right there. Yeah.
As soon as you said the 2 Sissias, I was super excited up until that point. I'm like, screw it, I can't do it.
wait, how many Sissies do you have?
1.
Yeah.
I'm lucky enough to have 1 because my Spider team's like 33, 35 seconds. And it's the same exact thing as yours, only I don't have a second Sissia.
Okay. Yeah, but she's awesome. Yeah, she's really awesome. AoE HP burn, she's great.
I agree. All right, so Orcs, a Seer. There you go. Enough said.
Enough said.
Even though I don't use her anymore in my dungeon teams, I still use her on every single Doom Tower hard floor. And anytime that I need a quick nuker, a bunch of secret rooms, any areas like that, I still use the Seer, Karma Burn. One of the best nukes, PvE nukes in the game, bar none. How about you?
Yeah, just like you said, straight to the point, Seer. Boom, period.
There we go. Yeah. All right, Demonspawn. Now
Demonspawn, we're good to go.
It's funny, I didn't even list her on like my little cheat sheet over here, and I'm like, why didn't I put an orc on there? I'm like, oh, this is Seer. It's obviously Seer. Demonspawn, this is probably one of the tougher ones. I mean, so many champions that I'm sure both of us use all the time.
Yeah.
I use Magnar, I use Allure a lot, I use Kymar a ton, I use Drexstar a lot, I use Sissia a lot, but I think for me, it's Duchess. because she's just such a good carry, such a good support. You know from what I mentioned with Norog that I love passives that mitigate damage. So decrease the damage taken on all AoE attacks by 25%, 15 from bosses is tremendous. Granted, it's just AoEs, but AoEs are, you know, everywhere. So great reviver, arguably the best revive in the game on a 4-turn cooldown, and then block buffs, increase attack. I mean, you're familiar with Duchess's kit, but yeah, I use her obviously in the arena and Hydra Clan Boss, and again, anywhere that I need just like a really incredible reviver.
Yeah, Duchess is a beast. So she's probably one of the other champions, I guess you would say, you wouldn't mind starting with this champion as your first champion, if we're talking about non-voids, right? Yeah,
so true. Yeah.
She's such an incredible champion. This one was so hard for me because I use so many. I mean, one of the strongest factions in the game, probably the strongest if you have to, you know, select a bunch of champions that do different multiple things in the game. Wow, this one was really tough for me, but I have to go with Prince Kymar because I use him practically everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah, so, truth be told, I'd probably use Kymar more than Duchess because you're right. He's just like so versatile.
Yeah, he's got the he's got the AoE on the A1, but the biggest thing with him is he can put everybody to sleep and also strip them, and it's just really, really huge in arena, a lot of areas in the game. But the biggest thing here is the reset. There's no other champion in the game. Well, there's another one that is very similar, two more that's similar, but nobody can full reset a champion's skills, abilities, and he also does a fill turn meter for all the champions for this, except this one too. So he might arguably be the best champion in the game overall when we're talking about the whole package outside of Void champions, right? But
well, I think you can make a case that he's the best champion in the game just because of,
to
your point. I mean, like, he's top tier arena, and then top tier anywhere else because of the A3, you know? So I don't know, but yeah, he's definitely up there.
Yeah, and he's also got the speed aura for the 30% arena as well. But yeah, like you said, amazing for arena. So that's it for me. So on to the next one.
Okay, Undead Horde. Man, this is another really stacked category, man. Yeah. I love a lot of these champions, obviously. I won't name them all, but this might surprise people, it might not, I don't know. But my most used, believe it or not, like, it's really close between Siphi and Vogoth, but I think I actually use Vogoth a little bit more because Vogoth is so good against Bommel. I use him so good against Nether Spider. I use him Nether Spider, and I use him on a Go Second Tag Team Arena team. I think that Vogoth is just such a cool champion. There's no other champion like him, you know, in terms of how incredible how much heals he can dish out on those passives. I run him in a curing set because of all the heals that he dishes out. Oh, okay. And he's just a beast, man. So I think I use Vogoth the most.
Wow, yeah, Vogoth is incredible. I actually built 3 of these guys so I can do Bommel on auto.
Nice.
Yeah, shout out to Soda Dragon Gaming because he came up with the composition and it was a really,
nice.
Yeah, really crazy composition.
I gotta check that one out.
Yeah, but
okay. Yeah, so is he your most used or no?
So we had a very similar look at it. So for me, my most used is actually Siphi and Battle Khazar. But if I have to pick one that I use the most, it's going to be Siphi because I use her practically everywhere. She kind of goes along with my Kymar everywhere they go. They're kind of a package together for me, but yeah, she does a lot of amazing things. She is also another option besides the Krisk as the one champion I would like to start out with when I'm making a fresh account, right? She's got the sleep on the A1. She's got the filter meter. She's got an ability that no other champion has because she can do all these different things in one single ability with the place to block debuffs on all your allies, filter meters, place the increased defense buff, and then increased speed as well on all your allies. So that's so many things going on. You know, that is quite a mouthful right there. But she's also got the revive on the A3 as well. She's such an incredible champion, and anybody's so happy when they pull her, for sure.
Yeah, that's gonna be on the top of most people's wish list out there is Siphi the Lost Bride. Okay, Dark Elves, man. So for me, it wouldn't have been close up until about a month ago. It would have been Lydia, right? Because Lydia just, I mean, is sticking with the same theme here that we talked about the entire video, right? Is that, like, if you're starting an account and you can get Lydia, which is impossible, you'd be looking pretty dang good. Because that A2, I mean, forget about her nasty passive and stuff like that and the dynamics there and how much utility you can get out of the A3. But that A2, it could be the most powerful ability in the game. To have decreased defense, weaken, strengthen, and increase speed on a 3-turn cooldown, that's ridiculous. However, because of what I said about Eleanor earlier, actually think I use Dark Kale a little bit more often now because he's so important for me on all those Poison Combust teams. And I use him in one, I forget which one, but I use him in one Doom Tower team too. So I use him in like 4 areas. It's going to be close between Lydia and Dark Kale, but really triple hitter on his A1. Each hit has a chance of instantly activating 2 poisons or HP burn. And then he has, more importantly, or just as importantly for the way that I use him, on the first couple waves, he's helping out tremendously with his A2. Extending the duration of all debuffs on the target by 1 turn. Really helpful as well. I love this guy, man. Dark Kale is a really cool champion.
Yeah, he's awesome. Really, really great champion. I use him a lot too, actually, for Dragon, actually. Actually, no, that was for faction games. Yeah, I got to cover him a lot in faction games recently with my my Dragon team, because I had the Dark Elves faction, and he's really, really crazy, especially with that debuff extend. But for me,
Mithrala too is close.
Yes.
Who is yours? Yeah,
mine is definitely, it's gonna be Lydia, because I use her everywhere too, along with my my seer composition.
Mine's probably Lydia. I'm probably just trying to get too cute here, but yeah.
Yeah, just trying to be different, but yeah, she's incredible for the same reasons you said. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next one then.
All right. So Knight's Revenant. This one is interesting.
I think I got guess which one it is for you.
Okay, who is it?
Tomb Lord.
You know what? It's probably Tomb Lord, just because of all those teams again.
Yeah.
However, I do sub him out on one squad.
Okay.
So I might be lying here to you, but I have like the biggest crush on like my along with Contra lately. You know, the champion I've been feeling the most in this game is Mother Cybele, man. She's just changed. She's the captain, if you will, the Aura lead of my main Hydra clan boss team. Like, if I want the most damage against the most difficult, the hardest difficulty, it's Mother Cybele. And you know how it is, Smiley, when you pull a new champion? Like, for me, I didn't fuse her because I went with Magnar and Cornelia in that fusion instead. And I didn't go for Mother Cybele. I kind of, like a lot of people, I was kind of like, she's all right. I could skip this one. And boy, was I wrong about her, man. First of all, she's one of the fastest champions in the game. Same speed as Siphi at 115.
Yes.
Great base stats, a loaded defense. She has the same speed aura, the best all-battle speed aura in the game, tied with a bunch of other champions. But the same as, like, what's-her-face? Lysandra. 24% speed in all battles on the aura. And then she has the AoE with decreased speed on the A1. Perfect for Hydra Clan Boss. And she dishes out so much damage over the course of a long battle with this A1 AoE attack with decreased speed. And then she has Revive on Death and increased defense on a 3-turn cooldown. That's tremendous, man. It's just like so much survivability in this 3-turn cooldown. And I run her without a Reviver on the same team as her because of these Revive on Deaths. They're usually dependable enough to at least, you know, it's not as good as a Revive, obviously, but it's nice to have just in case somebody goes down. So, yeah, Mother Cybele, big fan.
Yeah, she has so much going on. I think that's a really good point to let you guys know as viewers. You can always use any champion, even like fusion champions, because when we first see them, we might say, "Oh, this champion sucks. He's, you know, we're not gonna have use for this champion." But true. You never know. Yeah. One day, you know, there might be an area in the game where you can just really make use of that kit. So yeah, try to get your fusions done if you can, because they are accessible for you to do if you have the resource, of course. But yeah, Mother Cybele is an interesting one. I like her though. I have tested her out in Hydra Boss a couple of times, and there are certain compositions I do use her for, but she's great. For me,
awesome, man.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be. It hurts me to say this because I don't know if you know this, but Skullcrown is my favorite champion, or my favorite epic champion in the game for so long. Okay. She's been my favorite, but I can't.
Poor Skullcrown.
Yeah, she.
My girl Silver Drakes, and your girl Skullcrown now, man. We're snubbing them all.
Yeah, but I have to go with Solus. He is incredible, one of the best nukers in the game. For a defense base, like, his damage is based off of defense, but the one really good thing about him is, for as a nuker, he's a neutral affinity, right, for especially for arena. And the one good thing is, if you have some accuracy on him, he can place that provoke in case they stay alive, and that just messes up their composition. But he hits really hard. He has yeah, he's really strong, so he's my most used champion.
That's a good call out there. I love him. I love that they buffed him too, man. He was so slow, and I love that they bumped that speed up.
Yeah.
Dwarves. This one was my most difficult because I used two champions in this faction more than I'd use almost any other champion I've spoken about, and those are Trunda and Geomancer. I think Geomancer would probably win. especially when you consider how fundamental he is to the teams versus Trunda. A lot of the teams I use her on, it's just like I could sub in, you know, a Genbo or a Magnar or something, you know, in the arena especially. But Geomancer is just irreplaceable on a bunch of teams. His A3 mixed with his passive just generates so much freaking extra damage. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about Geo. He's an absolute beast.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, for me also, it's going to be... It's also split between Geo and Trunda, like you said. I mean, Trunda is... I mean, people regard her as the best nuker in the game, and there's a lot of argument there now with the new champion that came out with the Hefrak, I think.
Yeah, that's a very controversial topic. Have you waited on that one?
Yeah, I tried it, and yeah, his multipliers are insane. But the only issue is if they have Stone Skin, you know, it's you're kind of screwed on arena portion. But yeah, his nukes wise, he's definitely really strong. But
yeah, I think Trund is better personally. Only you know, like nothing against him, but like, I think she's her base stats alone. I mean, she's the best nuker in the game with 23k HP. What? You know? Like,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I'm probably gonna have to go with Trunda. I think I use Trunda the most, definitely.
Okay.
For arena particularly,
Nice.
But yeah, so that's pretty simple there. She's again the best nuker in the game, you know, arguably. But onto the Shadowkin then, the last one.
Sounds good, man. So the last one is going to be. This is probably why I didn't go Kaimar. Now, revisionist history here is because I was lucky enough to pull a Yumeko. And Yumeko really took the place of Kaimar on a lot of my teams. She has the Dance of Time ability, which decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 3 turns, increase the cooldown of enemy skills by 3 turns. And for every champion that I realized this after the fact, every champion that I need to use, you know, a Kaimar with, 3 turns still gets it done. Like, it still is enough to activate Karma Burn for Seer or whatever, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and at the same time, I get a mini Warlord in there as well with reducing the enemies. So I use a lot of Yumeko. Furthermore, Destiny's Mirror, her A2, I won't read the entire thing, but essentially, this ability against Bommel is nasty.
Yes.
It deflects all the bombs back onto Bommel, and he takes, what, 300% extra bomb damage or whatever? And it's like it's such an easy fight when you have lucky enough to have Yumeko on your squad. So, just insanely good champion.
Yeah, the bomb will completely wrecks himself with just from this this ability right here. I actually made a video on it. It was really fun.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Who do you use the most?
So mine is are you ready for my favorite champion in the game now?
Ooh, can I guess, is it epic or
it's a legendary.
It's a legendary.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the affinity.
Void.
Okay. Oh. Okay, it's definitely either Jingwan or Rio. Jingwan after the buff, I think you might get cute and go Jingwan. No. It's Rio Bone Spear, right?
No, it's Yumiko. She is
man, I didn't know. Okay. I got you.
She's the reason why I kicked Skullcrown to the curb.
Okay. Makes sense. She's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. So, for the same reasons you said earlier, but I actually use Yumiko and Kaimar both in the same team for arena, and that's my main team because she's like a warlord basically, and that's like a very popular composition. But yeah, she is so insane. As soon as I saw her, I wanted her because she actually reminded me a lot of. I don't know if you watch anime, but she reminded me a lot of Naruto, like the Fox Ninetales and whatnot. But I just got a lot of that vibe, and I kind of I really like this aesthetics, the way it looks. So. Yeah.
Super cool, man. Super cool. Well, yeah, we didn't have that many same answers. A few, but not that many. So
yeah,
good job.
But yeah, I guess that really pretty much covers it. So, is there anything else you want to add? I guess we just wrap up here.
Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for just coming on and just doing this collab with me. But yeah, make sure to check out Ash, guys. He's an incredible content creator. He does YouTube, and yeah, I'm gonna have a link to his channel in the description and the pinned comment section down below. So make sure to show him lots of love and support. Once again, thank you, Ash, for just coming along and just doing this collab with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care.